Okay, I'd like to call to order the Township Council regular meeting for Tuesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, Amanda. Thank you. And, yeah, they got me a little bit here, but we always chance to get even. Anyway, for April 1st, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a series of proclamations that we do. They do not require a motion, but they do need to be read into the record. First is for Local Government Week. I think, Colleen, you were going to handle that one, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to announce the recognition of Local Government Week being April 14th through 18th, 2025, to be recognized by the Township of Concord. Whereas local government forms the backbone of our daily lives, ensuring well-maintained roads and bridges, reliable sewer systems, public safety, beautiful parks and trails for residents to enjoy, and effective public services. And local government provides services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents, making their municipality their home. And whereas local government is administered for and by the citizens, and is dependent upon public commitment to an understanding of its many responsibilities. Be it resolved that the Council of Concord Township proclaims April 14th through the 18th as Local Government Week in Concord Township and encourages residents to engage in the various activities planned throughout the week.
Thank you. We're going to go out of order a little bit. The second one is the Recognizing Safe Digging Month. Larry?
Yes, recognizing Safe Digging Month, April 2025, whereas the month of April 2025 recognized as Pennsylvania 811 Safe Digging Month, an initiative sponsored by Pennsylvania 811 for over the last 53 years. And whereas Pennsylvania 811 received 1 million excavation notifications in 2024, over 3,000 construction projects in Coordinate, PA, and transmitted approximately 6 million notifications to their member facility owners and operators, helping to protect underground utility lines, residents, and work crews from any unsafe digging practices. And whereas when contacting 811, at least 3 business days before digging, a homeowner or a contractor is connected to a unique service that notifies the appropriate underground utility operators in the municipality in which the work will be performed, so the utility companies can safely mark out their underground infrastructure. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Concord Township, in support of the Pennsylvania Underground Utility Line Protection Law, PA Act 287 of 1974, as amended, we do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Pennsylvania 811 Digging Month and encourage all Pennsylvanians to visit the Pennsylvania 811 website at www.pa1call.org for information about safe digging. Passed and approved this day, April 1st, 2025.
Thank you, Larry. Mr. Crossan, Celebrating Earth Month proclamation, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Whereas the goal of Earth Month is to foster awareness, education, and action around sustainability and environmental stewardship, and whereas Concord Township, Delaware County, and whereas Concord Township Council of Delaware County understands the importance of natural land in our community and has preserved over 300 acres of open space for our residents to enjoy, and whereas parks, trails, open spaces, and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the Township's Parks and Recreation Department include the Birdtown Committee, which has planned activities including Earth Month to further Council's commitment in caring for our environment that includes repairing buffer tree plantings and tree maintenance, a beautification and cleanup event supported by Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful, a recycling day and tree giveaway event, and a Birding for Wellness nature walk. Now therefore be it proclaimed that Concord Township Council does hereby proclaim April 2025 as Earth Month and recognizes the outstanding work led by our Township Parks and Recreation Department, Public Works Department, Birdtown Committee members, and Park and Recreation Board members. and encourages our residents to participate in the township's Earth Month activities and become active champions to our Earth.
So that is also passed and approved this same day. Last one, Benita, National Library Week, and I see we have representatives from the library here. Benita, will you take that one, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a proclamation for the National Library Week in April 2025 this year. Whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. And whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of their background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. And whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. And whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Drawn to the Library. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Council of Concord Township, proclaim National Library Week, April 6th through 12th of this year, 2025, in Concord Township. During this week, we encourage all residents to be drawn to the Rachel Cole Library, passed and approved this day, first day of April 2025.
Okay, we have a formal proclamation to present to the library. Should we do that in front of the audience and maybe get a picture of that? Okay, upcoming meeting events and schedules. April 3rd, Park and Rec Board meeting. April 5th, Birding for Wellness, as was mentioned in one of the resolutions, at 8:30 a.m. at the Coleman Trail. April 9th, the Historic Commission meeting. April 12th, Saturday, Recycle Day and the Tree Giveaway over at the Public Works Building between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Same day at Bush Hill Farms between 11 and 1 will be the Easter egg hunt. Planning Commission agenda meeting is April 14th. Zoning Hearing Board is April 16th. April 18th, the offices are closed. Planning Commission meeting on April 21st. Township Park Beautification Volunteer Day, 9 a.m., Smithbridge Park on April 26th, and the council agenda meeting, if needed, is on April 29th. We'll go into our reports. Dana, you have a finance quarterly report for this month, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Township auditors have completed their audit field work for the 2024 financial statement audit and are pending pension reports from the state to finalize the full set of 2024 financial statements. Approximately $341,000 of current revenues will be reclassed to the proper fiscal year of 2024. To date, current real estate collections total $826,303, and we anticipate receiving large payments from mortgage companies closer to the end of the discount period, which is April 15th. Current year-to-date code department receipts is higher than budget expectations due to Encompass Health, but plan to be in line with budget expectations for the remainder of the year. First quarter actual revenue is $1,270,321. Public Works expenditures related to snow removal and overtime are currently in excess of anticipated budgeted expenditures. First quarter actual expenditures is $1,152,856. 8 projects are being funded by ARPA monies, 4 projects are completed, and 4 projects are still in progress, which we anticipate completion in the next few months. Multiple projects came in below budget, and combined with interest earned, that money will be used to offset the costs for stormwater management projects completed by our Public Works Department. The township has 5 grant-funded capital projects, and grant monies received year-to-date is $816,750. The township has 9 capital projects in progress with year-to-date cost of $686,283, 2 projects from the Open Space Fund, year-to-date cost $868,744, and our sewer department has 17 capital projects with year-to-date costs $1,367,036. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety, Vanita.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everybody. We have a short report for today. This March, we saw a good decline in the number of emergency medical services requests in our township, and I hope and wish all the residents good health and to keep those EMS incident numbers declining further. For today's report, based on the fire marshal's report, there were total of 4 fire incidents. One was a motor vehicle fire, which was a mechanical malfunction related fire. One was appliance related to air fryer and resulting in damage to the kitchen, and 2 brushwood fires. For the non-fire incidents, we had 11 motor vehicle accidents and 12 accidental auto alarms. We did have a little higher number of motor vehicle accidents, so please drive safe. There were illegal burning incidents that were terminated at 3 different locations in the township. The homeowner extinguished the burn pile. Unfortunately, the family dog bit the deputy fire marshal. He was treated at an urgent care for a minor dog bite on his forearm. Department had to also extinguish fire department because it had gotten out of control. Fire department also extinguished another burn pile since it had extended close to an outbuilding. We also want to keep our residents informed that in the state of Pennsylvania, all dogs must be under control and must not be allowed to run at large. Dogs are personal property, and owners are responsible for the damages caused by their dogs. For a safe April in Concord Township, please remember to check your smoke alarm batteries and be mindful of spring cleaning safety, especially with kids. And beware of the potential wet roads when driving during rainstorms. April in Pennsylvania is a Pennsylvania Safe Digging Month, so please remember to call 811 before you dig on your property to ensure that there are no nearby utility lines passing through your property. That's all for the safety report for this month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sewer and Public Works, Mr. Gillespie is away, so we will make that part of the record. Open Space and Trails, John?
Thank you, Mr. President. Regarding our Parks and Recreation Department report, the beginner Zumba and intermediate watercolor classes started this week at the Senior Center running through June and are sold out. As you mentioned, the Easter egg hunt is coming up next Saturday, the 12th, always very well attended at Bush Hill Farm. The Adult Pickleball League started last week. Games are held Thursday evenings at 6. Registration is now open for our Concord Township Summer Camp, which is running the weeks of 8/4 to 8/8 and 8/11 to 8/18. It will be held at the Township Park, and we are now accepting applications for a new farmers market, which will be held on Sunday mornings in the summer starting June 8th. Thank you.
Okay. Building and Codes, Colleen.
Thank you. For the month in building and codes, we had a total of 87 permits processed in March and 10 certificates of occupancy issued. The zoning hearing board has a new project submitted to them for 141 Smithbridge Road, which is a variance for a pole barn. The zoning hearing board also gave decisions on Covenant Fellowship Church Chapel's addition on 3/19/25. We have 2 new conditional use hearings that will be coming forward. The Shops at Ridge in Concord, Acquisition LLC to amend and recorded plans, and Heroes Bar and Grill that we'll be accepting later on the agenda. We have a new business, Hair Kings at 91 Wilmington Westchester Pike. And new businesses coming soon. We have quite a few here. Ivy Brook Academy, Celebrate School, The Learning Experience, Golden Malted Waffles, S2 STEM, which is a child care center, J. Crew at the town center, Rejuve Pod relocating to the town center, LL Bean going in the Staples facility, Ryan's Rise Up Cafe at 5 Evergreen Drive, Golden Horizon Healthcare, and Vision Medical. A lot of new businesses coming into Concord. That's my report.
That's good. Larry, Planning Commission, please.
Yeah, Concord Township Planning Commission activities for March 2025. The Planning Commission agenda meeting was held on March 10th, and the public meeting on March 17th was canceled. New projects for them, once again, the conditional use hearing, Shops at Ridge, Concord Acquisitions review and issue comments for council. The schedule for this month, as Dominic already stated, the agenda meeting will be on April 14th, and the public meeting will be on the 21st.
Thank you. Solicitor, Mr. Donahue.
Yes, please be advised that the township and the folks at Concord Ventures are still involved in discussions concerning a possible resolution, but no agreement has been reached to date. Also at this time, I know it's listed under business items number 4, Smithbridge Road Carter update, but from my perspective, if I can cover it now, the roundabout program with respect to acquisitions being made by the township, whether it's in a fee, an easement in fee, or just a construction easement, those discussions are ongoing, and the township has received, for the most part, overwhelming support from the property owners affected, with the exception at this point of 2. And I'm not going to get into specifics, but it may be that the township will have to exercise its powers under eminent domain if we cannot reach an agreement in the very near future. I'm also the school district and the library have both been cooperative in this regard, and they have both in the process of signing off, and the school district has indicated that they would share with respect to snow removal of the path when it's finally built. Thank you.
Okay. Township Engineer Nate.
Sure, just a few updates on non-agenda items. Obviously, we had a significant rain event last night. I actually happened to be in the township, so I was checking a couple things overnight, but we were out there today addressing some complaints and concerns, but nothing of significance, fortunately. 2 pre-construction meetings were set. We met on the Beaver Valley Pocket Park on Smithbridge Road on Monday, so that work will be started by the end of the month, probably about the 3rd week of April. So we look forward to that project moving forward. I've talked to some residents down that way, and they're very, very much looking forward to that project. Last, we did have our pre-construction meeting for the Garnet Valley School District project last week. They're probably a few weeks out from heavy-duty construction, but we'll probably start seeing construction, fencing, and maybe some demolition of the existing Pennington School as early as next week is my expectation. Thank you.
Township Manager Amanda.
Yes, thank you, Dominic. So I just want to make a couple notes. Our DCED report will be filed this week in accordance with the law. We've worked through the audit. Things look fine, and that report should be filed soon. Local Government Week, for anyone interested, pay attention. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff going on. I know it's spring break for the kiddos. We're actually planning to go and speak to the middle school kids again to talk about careers in local government and a lot of the things that we do and what councils do, so that maybe we get some kids interested one day in running for office or being me, hopefully. So we'll be doing that, and we'll have a lot of activities that week going on. Additionally, you mentioned the rain event. I just want to point out, great job by our sewer team. Anytime we get rain that comes really quickly, it can wreak havoc on some of our stations. And our team was, some of them were here during the storm, and everything went great, all was good, and I'm grateful to have such a good group running our operations. So I wanted to point that out. Otherwise, I hope people take advantage of a lot of things coming in April. Our Director of Parks and Recreation is really doing a lot of great things. We actually be starting Beaver Valley Park, which will be a new park that we have grant money for. Will be getting underway construction-wise the end of April. Notifications will be going out, and we'll be putting stuff in our news actually this week because we just had a meeting with our contractors. So we're real excited about that. That'll be for little guys. It'll be a little toddler park, all natural, fitting into the area. So it'll be really nice. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Just a question for Hugh. Going back to the solicitor's report, with regard to Valley Point Church and their appeal of the zoning hearing board decision, is the township taking a position or engaging in that matter directly?
Yes, the township has entered its appearance with respect to the appeal in the Court of Common Pleas of Delaware County. And as a matter of fact, counsel for the church has reached out to discuss to see if there's a way it can be worked out. Be quite frank with you, I do not even know specifically what their issues are at this point, but I'm going to find out next week.
Very good, thank you.
Okay. Public comment? Anybody with any comments regarding anything on the agenda or anything in the township, please come forward. We will need your name and address, please.
Thank you.
Wow.
Maureen Hewitt, 19 Brook Lane. How are you?
Okay.
Mr. Donahue, so Concord Ventures is still lurking around. Can you give us any more on that? Like where it stands, what they're doing?
Well, as you know, it's been on appeal for almost 2 years now, so it's still in the Court of Common Pleas.
So does it just not move there? Is there no discussion there?
There has been no discussion with the Court of Common Pleas. There has been discussion, but there hasn't been any recent discussion. I anticipate that if the court doesn't hear anything from either one of the parties over the course of the next month or two, they may reach out and try to schedule another conference, something to that effect, to see where we are. But the township has exchanged different concepts with the developer. Some of those have been shared with some of the protestants. And that's where we are. I mean, nothing's been finalized. There's been no final agreement.
Different concepts, like putting a park there instead of apartment buildings? What kind of, I mean, are they?
We're not going to get in. I'm not going to get into settlement discussions with you. That's not proper. Okay, so right now I'm just keeping you up to date as to where we are.
Okay. And Beaver Valley Project Park, where is that?
That's behind the Arrive Apartments, so...
Behind the what? Arrive Apartments.
Behind the apartments, exactly. So it was the old Zeckman property. It was a log cabin that was taken down sort of across from Ruby Road.
On Beaver Valley Road, yes.
Yeah, it's it's like 1 acre.
Uh-huh. So the park will be where that cabin was?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That was a very cool thing. I had something else, but it's not popping up. Oh, I know what it is. I want to thank everybody for Bush Hill Farms. You kicked ass rebuilding that dog park. It's fabulous. I know that you went back and forth about it, but you did a really, really nice job up there. People just rave about it. So thank you.
Wonderful, thank you.
That's great, because we caught a lot of hell over it originally, so. And if you just trust the system, sometimes it does work. Okay, thank you. Okay. Dave, we all know who you are, but you still got to give your name and address for the.
I say, you didn't give me a chance. Dave Cleary, 72 Schoolhouse Lane, and the people in the audience may not know. You had a lot of monthly events up there, but you didn't have Autism Awareness Month. It's actually Autism Acceptance or Awareness Month, depending on the school right now, but they both head to the same spot. April is Autism's Awareness/Acceptance Month, and tomorrow is World Autism Day. The lead in the community is Station 59. I'll go over there tonight and see. I'm sure they already got the blue light bulbs up at the fire station. Places around the world, significant buildings. We were in New York City 10 years ago. All the buildings were lit up blue for autism, World Autism Day, the White House, Opera House, Eiffel Tower. If there is any kind of lighting here that you can do, they just put blue light bulbs in over at the fire station. I talked to another community. They have kind of a switch where they can put up different color lights. Maybe get it on the agenda next year and have one more list. There's also a local autism awareness event that some of the folks here are familiar with, and it's going to be this Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. at the high school track. Anybody that's interested, come out, learn about autism, the challenges, the fun things. If you're so inclined, all the way up to 12 and a half laps around the track for a 5K or just a couple laps. And probably I'll leave a flyer here. The only other thing, yeah, I appreciate the leash mentioned, and I have an autistic son that likes to run at Rose Tree Park, and everybody thinks they can go out in the backside of the park and let their dogs run free. My wife was actually bit a couple years ago, the day after Christmas, by a dog, and we ended up in the emergency room, or she ended up there. That dog was actually on a leash, but yeah, there's people, I'll say, since it's Autism Awareness Month, that aren't so comfortable when your stray dog runs up to them, and their leash laws. And in fairness to those people, it's nice that our local police, the state police, will be there again this year. It's not Trooper Nab anymore. It's Quentin. It's in my email. The trooper's name, their new guy, and I think Brian. Yep. And they provide a good interaction because a lot of the safety issues can be related, and hopefully you never end up calling 911 for kind of elopement. There's a guy there that has to be reminded to give his name and address every time here that's very good at sharing elopement strategies. You know what, I will leave you with one other thing. A 5-year-old kid in Kennett last year in April drowned in his community pond. People with autism are attracted to water, and they wander off and elope. He left his house and wandered over. The first responders, that's the first place they looked, and it was already too late. But wandering off and drowning, the autistic kids or people drowned about twice the rate. So one of the things we'll talk about on Sunday, especially for the families that are new to autism, may not be aware of it, how to be hypervigilant and how to teach the water survival skills as early as possible that you teach even your babies now. And I'm done talking, and I'll just leave this up.
Please. Thank you. Yeah, Amanda, maybe we could put this up on the website before the weekend? We'll figure something out. Okay. Hello.
Kathy Schlenk. I'd like to thank the township for sticking by us with Valley Point Church.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was a little, that was something we needed to hear. Thank you. Helps us to the right decision. Okay. Okay. Unanimous over there, okay? That being said, we'll get into the business items. First item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and that consists of the following. It will be the approval of the council public meeting minutes of March 4th, 2025. Dana, I think we have some bills to pay this month.
Sure, thank you, Mr. President. Total expenditures is $779,998.68. That consists of March payroll, which is $216,660.68. Current bills totaling $374,696.82, and our sewer bills totaling $188,641.18.
Okay. John got me there for a minute. Okay. Okay, certificates of payment. John Gillespie is not here. I will handle it. There are 3 this month. There's payment number 5 in the amount of $51,220.11 to Moore Construction for the Smith Bridge Park. There's payment number 1 of $22,320 to AJM Electrical. They're the electrical contractor that is doing the SOAR UV project. And also payment number 1 to $15,400 to Guy M. Cooper, Inc. They are installing the fire suppression system in the community center, which is the brick building as you enter the complex. There are also 5 financial releases. First one is the third and final in the amount of $14,895.40 to Valley Point Church for their SOAR. Number 8 final in the amount of $20,964.98 to Valley Point Church from the township end. These were for projects that were completed previously, nothing to do with anything over there now. Number 2, $620,284.86 to the Shops at Ridge SOAR. This was the pump station that Pentanaro installed. It's a little to the north of the car dealership that handles that whole area. Payment release number 4, which is a final, to $371,515.67 to Chad's Ford Investors. That was from the township, and it's for the Brandy Wine Retail, Mills Retail. And number 2, $238,939.12 to Orchard Knoll. We also have the authorization, the advertisement for the road program. Nate, I think you have some on there. And it includes Matson Road from Hilltop to Chester Heights Township line, Matson Road from Marion Drive to Hilltop, Spring Valley Road from Chadsford Township line at the medians to Sharpless Farms, Conchester Road, Baltimore Pike to 600 feet north, Heritage Hill Drive, Shavertown Road base repair only, and Jones Drive. We're also going to be doing some light line striping on Britton Lake Road from Baltimore Pike south to the Mainline Health entrance. And we always add an alternate bid. Sometimes we get better prices when we bid these projects and we're able to bite off one that's supposed to be done next year in this year's money, and that's Cross Creek Drive. We also have to accept the following plans as complete for filing. Land development application for 39 Kirk Road, a final minor subdivision, 2 lots. A land development application for 814 Shavertown Road, a preliminary major subdivision, 3 lots, and a conditional use application for outdoor dining at 996 Baltimore Pike, Heroes Bar and Grill, which was the old Duffers.
Mr. President, if I may, I think it's 59 Kirk Road. I thought I heard 39, but I think
It says 39 on here. Is 59?
It is.
No, it is 39.
It is 39.
Originally, it had 59, but it's actually 39.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve all the items on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor,
Just
please?
from a point of discussion, regarding the application for land development of 814 Shavertown Road, the major subdivision into 3 lots, I don't believe that this is allowed because he's using a conditional use provision. And so this should be a conditional use application, not a land development application. because it's regarding the use of a historic resource, and he can only have that additional dwelling unit as a conditional use per the ordinance, and which would not also allow him to have the additional 2 lots.
From my experience from the planning commission, I think once Nate does the zoning review as part of the land development application, that would be pointed out if it is so correct, and he would have to go through a conditional use process concurrently and have that ruled before the land development application. So it's a good thing to highlight to Nate. So in your review of the application, we can make that study and make sure if that's the case, we'll advise him he needs to go to conditional use.
So we can accept
We can
this
accept
tonight.
it because it'll get picked up. There's a zoning
Okay.
review done by the engineer and also the land planner before they even get into the SLDO.
Yeah,
So, go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, so the acceptance is really that the submission is complete, and then we'll do a review. And oftentimes, out of that review requires, there might be zoning hearing board relief, conditional use approval, different steps have to go forward. So they will be put on pause.
Very good.
This is just to be clear, this is a little bit of an odd duck, historic resource, multiple lots. You and I may not see eye to eye on some of these sections, but I think Manos, myself, we might have to get a little bit of help on going through this because we haven't seen something in this scenario before to make sure we get it right, and we'll do that during the course of the initial review.
Okay?
It is preliminary, correct?
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
ARPA project updates. Nate, Amanda, any updates?
Yes, on which one? ARPA, really just 2 updates. We've knocked everything out pretty much. The only 2 projects we have left in the queue are going to be the Newland Basin project, which has been out to bid. We're just waiting on getting that teed up for construction. We do not have a start date at this point in time. And then we just have to finish up the Evergreen Drive and Sharpless Farm traffic improvements. That is actually scheduled, I believe, for next week. The Evergreen intersection will become a raised intersection in front of Marist Road.
Right.
So it's a little bit temperature dependent and then construction coordination dependent with the Marist Grove and Concordville Town Center teams. And then we'll finish the striping work on Sharpless Farms. Those are probably the 2 biggest items we have left with the ARPA projects.
Okay. Octorara Trail, you 2 also have a...
Yeah, so
Well, Nate, Yui gave us something, I thought, on that.
Well, that was,
Yeah.
yes, he was talking on Smith Bridge, so we'll
That's
just
true.
chat on that briefly. But the critical path item there is the right-of-ways and easements, which is finally moved forward enough that PennDOT is setting a let date of September. So that will be the goal that we're trying to hit at this point in time. We don't need to freak out about construction in schools just yet. That'll be a freak out, new problem down the road. Let's just keep plugging away at this point. We'll work on schedules as we move forward. Octorara, I feel bad,
Yeah.
John Gillespie's not here tonight, but we've made a lot of progress over the
Yep.
past 30 or 45 days. Really, Mark Morphy and Amanda have been spearheading it. The biggest news is we've finally come to an agreement with the SEPTA for use of their right-of-way. So we'll be entering into an agreement, and the team is working on that. We made 3 different submissions to PennDOT for accessibility, signals, and traffic control, and we got PennDOT approval for right-of-way. So same with Smithbridge. We can now work with you to get the easements we need to make that happen. We completed all of our soil infiltration testing, which, if you can imagine, was very exhausting to get out onto these sites and do that testing. And next up, we'll get the utility clearance with PennDOT. So it's actually been a very, very good, probably about 45, 60 days, but this SEPTA aspect has been the really critical path that's been killing us.
And I'll just point out too, and from there, it's also acquisition and right-of-way again. So we're going to be having those discussions again with several landowners along the trail.
Okay, Smithbridge Road Corridor, you gave us his update. Is that pretty consistent with your comments?
Yep.
Okay. Number 5, NALT agreement meadowing at Bush Hill Farms. Could one of you 2 explain that in a little?
Yep. So we currently have an agreement with them, and they're handling the meadowing project at Bush Hill Farms. So anyone that's been over there, so that was a project basically to bring that up to a natural meadow. And that was part of our Bush Hill master planning process, which I know several council members here were involved in, John and Dominic. We are furthering that mission, and this has been a part of it. What's interesting, while we have an agreement previously signed for several $1,000s with the Land Trust, what we are doing now, they just received a huge grant through the DCNR, and they have suggested with the maintenance and costs moving forward, we have about $9,000 that will wind up saving. So by re-signing an agreement with them, they can now go back to the grantor and get reimbursed under this project with an updated date post their grant. So we're basically agreeing to the things you've already agreed to, but now it gives them the ability to go to DCNR and get reimbursed versus having us pay them for the work that they're going to be doing over the next couple years.
Okay,
So it's pretty great.
My question is, will this require a motion, or is this just
Yes,
something?
I would like a motion because it
Okay.
is an agreement with them.
All right, we're gonna need a motion for item number 5, the reimbursement agreement.
So moved.
Do we have a
Second.
second? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution 22 of 2025, I think you gave us a little bit of background on. This has to do with the SEPTA agreement for the Octorara Trail. Whereas Concord Township and SEPTA desire to enter into a lease agreement to allow Concord Township to build a portion of a multi-use path on a portion of SEPTA's out-of-service Octorara branch for recreational purposes. Whereas the attached lease agreement has been prepared by the parties and set forth the terms of the agreement between SEPTA and Concord concerning the placement of a portion of Concord Octorara's multi-purpose trail upon a portion of SEPTA's out-of-service Octorara branch. Whereas council finds that the Concord Octorara Trail will serve as an asset to the community, whereas Concord Township finds that the terms of lease are fair and reasonable, we need a motion to approve that resolution, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
How about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Thank you for
Aye.
coming out this evening.